So, how are you going to put that together, Mark?
That's your job.
Mark McCann just did something that would make most people's palms sweat. He bought his very own Bugatti Veyron. But this wasn't a pristine dealership purchase with champagne and contracts. This Veyron came with serious complications. The gearbox doesn't work, it's been off the road for 3 years, and it's literally split in half from a repair attempt gone horribly wrong. Most sensible people would see this disaster and run. But Mark had someone in mind that gave him confidence. Matt Armstrong, the YouTube sensation currently rebuilding Alex's catastrophically crashed Bugatti Chiron. This is the same car that Bugatti itself flat out refused to repair, declaring it a write-off. But Matt Armstrong doesn't accept impossibility. He's famous for fixing what others deem unfixable. The logic was simple. If Matt could tackle a project Bugatti themselves rejected, surely he could help with a Veyron gearbox. Mark had already connected with the same specialists working on the Chiron. If anyone can handle a tricky Bugatti, it's Matt, he thought. You've got the inside connections for parts. Meanwhile, millions watch Matt's Chiron story unfold on YouTube. Every day, fans check obsessively, speculating whether it will ever drive again. Comment sections explode with theories and encouragement. The automotive community has become invested in proving Bugatti wrong. Mark had been hunting for a Bugatti for months, an obsessive quest that consumed his free time. Every Veyron that came up for sale in the UK, he'd seen them all, studied their histories. Some were outrageously expensive. Others had weird specifications. The ones he genuinely wanted sold before he could make a move. Then came a call from his friend Ollie. Mark, I found something off market. A Mansory Veyron. One of the rarest spec Bugattis in existence. And it's cheap. Really cheap. Mark's heart skipped a beat. Cheap and rare don't go together in the Bugatti world. There had to be a catch. But the possibility of owning something so exclusive at a fraction of the price was intoxicating. Bugattis break. That's a known fact. They're incredible machines, engineering marvels, but they're complex and temperamental. Buying one that's already broken, that's not just a purchase, it's a gamble. A massive, expensive, potentially ruinous gamble. This gamble could either make him the happiest man alive, the owner of an incredibly rare functioning hypercar, or it could cost him a fortune with nothing but an expensive pile of carbon fiber parts to show for it. The stakes couldn't possibly be higher. Before making any commitments, Mark reached out to Falanger Cars, independent Bugatti specialists based in the UK who had seen and worked on almost every Veyron in the country. Their reputation in the exotic car world was legendary, whispered about in collector circles. These were the people who could accomplish what dealerships often couldn't or wouldn't attempt. Their initial assessment was cautiously optimistic. The gearbox is reparable, they told him directly. Unless the casing itself is completely split, cracked beyond repair, we can fix it. We've dealt with similar issues before. It's not impossible, just complicated and expensive. Hearing those words, that professional assessment from people who actually knew these cars intimately, that's all Mark really needed. The same team that was actively helping Matt Armstrong on Alex's supposedly impossible Chiron rebuild could potentially save his Veyron. But Mark is nothing if not thorough. He needed to know the absolute worst-case scenario, the nuclear option, the number that would keep him awake at night if everything went wrong. How much would a brand new Bugatti gearbox cost, straight from the manufacturer? He made an appointment at Bugatti Manchester and showed up dressed absurdly for the occasion. A funeral-style suit paired with bright, attention-grabbing shoes. Completely over the top for a simple dealership visit, but Mark has always had a flair for the dramatic. The Bugatti representative confirmed what he'd feared. £300,000 for a complete gearbox installation, and that could only be performed at their London facility. Not Manchester, not anywhere else. London only. Expensive? Absolutely astronomical. But now he knew the numbers, the upper boundary of his potential disaster. Mark ran the calculations. Risky, yes, but not impossible. A rare Mansory Veyron, fully functional with a documented restoration story, could be priceless to the right collectors. Then came the actual viewing appointment, the moment of truth. Mark expected a dusty Veyron missing a few panels, but essentially recognizable. What he got was genuinely shocking. The car was literally split in half, torn apart like an anatomy lesson. The gearbox had been completely removed, leaving a gaping void. The engine sat exposed. Body panels were scattered around the workshop. Deep scratches and dents covered surfaces. The leather interior showed serious damage. This wasn't a simple repair job. This was a complete teardown that had been sitting abandoned for 3 years. Dust covered everything. Seals had dried out. The previous garage's story started to unravel. They'd claimed the clutch packs had been replaced, expensive work properly completed. Not true. Complete fabrication. Metal debris scattered throughout the gearbox housing had locked up the gear selection mechanism. Human error, carelessness, lack of expertise had ruined a multi-million-pound machine. Falanger had taken over the project and already made substantial progress. Gear clusters had been carefully assembled with precision. Casings sat cleaned and ready for installation. The hydraulic block had been meticulously prepped. All this major work had been paid for by the previous owner before they gave up and decided to cut their losses. Only the small components remained uncertain. The nuts, bolts, seals, and clips that seem insignificant but are absolutely critical. And yes, as Mark learned, Bugatti bolts are insanely, almost criminally expensive. Even the smallest, most innocuous-looking fastener could cost hundreds of pounds, and they weren't easy to source through normal channels. But still, despite all the challenges and complications, hope glimmered. Negotiations began in earnest. The initial asking price? £850,000. Mark countered. The seller pushed back with $1 million. Too high. Mark made his final offer, the absolute maximum his finances and courage could support, £900,000. He held his breath. The owner, clearly exhausted by the entire situation and eager to move on from this expensive nightmare, accepted. Just like that, Mark had officially bought a 2-piece Mansory Veyron with a non-functional gearbox and a story that was still waiting to unfold. The money was transferred. The deal was done. There was no turning back now. To fund this automotive gamble, Mark had to make painful sacrifices from his existing collection. His beloved NSX, a car he'd cherished, gone, sold to a new owner. The M3 that he'd enjoyed for years, countless miles and memories, gone. His rare RS200, a car he'd sworn he'd never sell, gone to someone else. Even his Audi S1 rally car, a serious performance machine that brought him joy, had to go. Each sale was genuinely painful, like saying goodbye to old friends who'd been part of his life. But every car sold represented another step closer to owning something truly legendary, something special. United Worldwide Logistics carefully transported the Veyron in its disassembled state to Falanger's facility. Fully insured, professionally handled, secured properly despite being in pieces. The official rebuild could finally begin. And if the gearbox encountered any serious issues, any unexpected complications that arose during assembly, Matt Armstrong and his network of specialists had Mark's back. The same Matt who was defying Bugatti's declarations with the Chiron. Then came an emotional moment Mark had been anticipating and dreading. He brought his partner Jane to the workshop for the big reveal. She'd seen the pristine photos from years ago, when the car was whole and beautiful and magnificent. But reality hit hard. 2 disconnected halves. Thick dust covering every surface. Missing panels leaving the car looking naked. Complete silence where a thunderous W16 engine should roar. Jane stood shocked, genuinely speechless. Her expression said everything without words. Mark, always the optimist, tried to lift the mood. It's still a Bugatti. We actually own a Bugatti. Jane remained unconvinced, looking at the scattered pieces, trying desperately to picture the transformation that would need to occur, struggling to imagine this mechanical disaster becoming the beautiful machine it once was. This story isn't just about one man and his broken car anymore. Millions of people around the world are actively watching Matt Armstrong's Chiron rebuild unfold online. Now, Mark's Veyron has become part of that larger narrative, another chapter in the saga of ordinary people accomplishing extraordinary things with exotic cars. The questions everyone's asking are simple but profound. Will the gearbox actually work? Will this car roar to life again? Can Matt Armstrong and his team work their magic without any official support from Bugatti? Can they prove, once again, that the impossible is merely difficult? Fans across social media are constantly commenting, endlessly speculating, eagerly waiting for every single update. Every Instagram post gets analyzed. Every YouTube video gets dissected frame by frame. The world has become invested in this journey, and this isn't just Mark's personal story anymore. Falonger has begun the meticulous rebuild process in earnest. The gearbox components, the intricate hydraulic blocks, the precisely machined casings, every component being carefully prepared for assembly. Matt Armstrong's expertise and reputation loom large in the back of Mark's mind during every workshop visit. Every small bolt, every rubber seal, every metal component could genuinely mean the difference between catastrophic failure and absolute glory. The ultimate question remains beautifully simple. Will this rare Mansory Veyron come roaring back to life, a phoenix rising from the ashes of someone else's failure? Or will it remain forever a two-piece nightmare, an expensive reminder that some gambles don't pay off, that some dreams stay dreams? Mark walks through the workshop almost daily now, observing every detail, asking countless questions, learning everything he possibly can about the complex process of rebuilding a Bugatti. Each day brings new surprises, new challenges to overcome. Sometimes frustration when unexpected issues emerge from the years of neglect. Sometimes genuine hope when real progress happens, when another component slots into place. But always forward movement toward the goal. The anticipation builds with each passing day. The story grows. The investment of time, money, and emotion deepens. The stakes remain impossibly high. And yet hope burns stronger than fear. Because if Matt Armstrong can finish Chiron, completely defying Bugatti itself and proving that their impossible declaration was wrong, then surely he can help make this Veyron drive again. The journey continues. The world watches. And somewhere in that workshop, a split Bugatti Veyron waits patiently for its second chance at life.